I'm Chef Aaron Goldstein, and today we're talking about mussels. Mussels. So I think mussels are interesting because I think most people really just eat them out. And I know a lot of people that I know are a little squeamish about cooking shellfish in general at home, and definitely mussels. So I really wanted to make you more at ease by showing you how simple they are, and I really want you to feel like they're not scary at all, okay? So let's just get right to it. More often than not, when you take mussels home, they're in a bag like this, okay? So I like to get them in a colander in my sink and just run them under cold water. But just to show you, I've got some cold water here. And you really just kind of want to move them around and kind of wake them up because they're alive. And you want to make sure that they're alive. So if you're doing this and any of them are broken, or if they're open and not closing, you want to discard them, okay? The other thing, if they've got a beard down by the base, which looks like basically like a tiny bundle of rope, which these are super clean, but like this, you want to get rid of them. You want to get rid of this beard. And sometimes you get tough ones, and I like to just grab a towel and just pull, okay? It's not a huge deal, but it makes for kind of cleaner eating later, all right? So these are looking super good. And again, if you smell anything off, you'll know, okay? If you get any bad ones, trust me, you'll know. Same is true for oysters, by the way. If you ever shucked oysters and open one up, you're gonna know if you got a bad one. Okay, so you even see that water is kind of gritty and cloudy. So it's a good thing we gave it a nice wash. So I'm gonna let these drain for a second. Whoa. I've got some butter in this pan. I'm just showing you one example of literally an infinite amount of possibilities. You can do anything you want. And literally, you can just use stuff up that you have in the fridge. In this case, we're doing kind of like a red Thai chili, which I love, okay? So I'm gonna just slice a little bit of garlic thinly. I'm gonna add this to the butter. I'm just gonna let that kind of hang for a second so the garlic can kind of infuse the butter. Then we're gonna hit that with some of the red chili paste. And let that red chili just get in there with the butter, and I'm telling you, the smell is unbelievable. These are Kefir Lime Leaves. You can get these in a lot of international grocery stores, and very often you'll get a bag for super cheap, and you'll look at the bag and be like, I'm never going to use all these. You can store these in the freezer in a Ziploc bag. I've had these for months, and they're still vibrant and green and full of amazing aroma, okay? These are going to go in with the butter as well. We'll save a few for garnishing later. And then I'm going to take the mussels and get them in the pan. And I like to always kind of coat and toss the mussels with whatever fat that I'm using. And by the way, you can use whatever you want, olive oil, coconut oil. You could also just simmer this with coconut milk. That would be really appropriate. But I really like to kind of toast these mussels. And I find that kind of more flavor, seafood flavor, carries through the dish. So I like to use a lot of different things here. White wine, beer is really awesome with mussels. This is some soju that I love to use, and I wanted to use them up. So we're going to go that in. I'm going to blast the heat and cover it. And literally, these are going to take like 2 minutes. Especially these are small mussels, so they're going to open really fast. Now, as soon as they're open, they're done. Okay? That's all you need to know. Alright? Every once in a while, if you're smelling some funkiness in here, then maybe you got a couple bad ones in there. Alright? And you could just kind of start over. But I'm telling you that almost never happens, right? So, if you just took that time to rinse and just kind of sift through, most often, 98% of those mussels are going to be great. Okay? So, let's grab a plate. Let's see how these guys are doing. Almost there. And the pan was looking a little dry. You can always add water. That's just a general something I want you to think about. Have water on hand, right? Sometimes we panic a little bit if we see a pan is dry or something's getting too hot. It's really awesome just to have a kettle nearby and a little bit of water can go a long way to kind of, regulating temperature. So, I think we're looking good. So in the interest of time, I'm gonna get going with these guys. They're opening nicely. Oh, I wish you could smell what's going on in here. Would it be a bad idea to plate the mussels and leave the broth in the pan? And what I would do back in the restaurant days would kind of emulsify a little bit of butter or oil olive oil into the broth. But in this case, I'm just gonna get it in here. And look at this heaping pile of mussels. So I'm gonna serve these with just a little bit of lime, and we'll garnish with a little bit more of the Kefir Lime. And this one's going to my lucky wife. Okay, so that's mussels. Don't be afraid of them, alright? They're awesome. They're super cheap, they're delicious, they're nutritious, and they're really a sustainable option for you. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next week.